Hello, everyone, and welcome to the newest review from Reels Movies, an uncensored movie review podcast. I am your host, Z, and today I'm bringing you the newest Disney rehash of their live adaptations. That's right, I'm talking about Dumbo. The cartoon version of Dumbo came out in 1941, and the live adaptation has been in the works since the summer of 2014. Disney has been pumping out these live adaptations pretty fast over the years with Beauty and the Beast, the Jungle Book remake, and Christopher Robin from last summer. They have two more coming out this summer with Aladdin and Lion King, but I'm not, talking bad about it. They've racked up over $5 billion since they started this back in 1994 with the original Jungle Book. If you don't know what Dumbo is, or if you've never seen the original cartoon, here it is.
Welcome, baby Dumbo. We're all family here, no matter how small.
You have something very rare. You have wonder. You have mystique. You have magic. Wow! Come with me. Together, we can soar on that elephant's wings.
Tim Burton returns to Disney as director. He directed Alice in Wonderland back in 2010. He also produced Alice Through the Looking Glass. You might know Tim from Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, Batman and Batman Returns, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Dumbo stars Colin Farrell as Holt Farrier. You might have seen him last year in Widows. He was also in Fright Night, SWAT, Phone Booth, and a very, very underrated movie called Seven Psychopaths. He's also joined by Michael Keaton, who plays V.A. Vanderveer, who was also with Tim Burton for Beetlejuice and Batman, and is also in Spotlight and The Founder. Danny DeVito as Max Medici, best known for obviously probably Taxi, and nowadays Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's also in Matilda, and Batman Returns, also with Tim Burton. Rounding out the cast, Ava Green, who is Colette Marchant. I don't see the appeal for Ava Green. I honestly don't. I don't see her as a great actress. She always comes very flat to me. I just don't see her appeal at all. But she was also in Casino Royale, Tim Burton's Dark Shadows, and Sin City: A Dame to Kill For. So Dumbo starts off. We meet the traveling circus. The year is 1919. See two kids, Millie and Joe, running to a train station. They see their dad, Holt, standing there. He just coming back from the war, and he's missing his left arm. Holt finds out that the circus has had hard times. Meet Max, and Dan DeVito was absolutely beautiful. Was just awesome as Max. He really was. Just hilarious, and you could tell he enjoyed every second being in this role, especially with a lot of funny moments with him and Rongo the Strongo, the strong man of the circus. Just great moments with those two. Find out that Holt's wife died from illness the previous winter. Max shows off his investment to Holt and the kids. We meet Jumbo, pregnant elephant, huge elephant that Max says she's from the Far East, and he specifies Far East, so we never find out her origin. Max puts Holt in charge of the elephants. Holt was originally had a horse show, a featured horse show with his wife, but Max sold the horses. Holt tries to readjust to being back to the circus after being back from the war. His daughter, Millie, only wants to really focus on science. She's obviously a genius. And his son, Joe, just continuously tries to impress him. He tries to juggle and stuff, and his Holt doesn't really pay attention to him that much. That's very typical in Tim Burton movies. There's a lot of a lot of daddy issues in a lot of his movies. If you haven't really noticed it, look back. You see a lot of daddy issues throughout his movies. Jumbo has the baby. After we see the baby, this elephant has huge ears, like huge ears. Max wanted to refund because of it. So he says it's deformed. The kids take an instant liking to him. Rufus, another carnival worker, pretty much, it's not really said what he does, but it's kind of like the bad guy to it, like kind of like Achilles' heel to Holt. Tries to start some trouble with between the elephants. Jumbo grabs him and throws him into a water trough. The kids spend a lot of time with Dumbo, start playing with him, feeding him. They show him a feather. Dumbo kind of plays with the feather and snorts it up his trunk, sneezes, and he flies backwards, and the kids are amazed. They try to tell Holt, but he doesn't pay attention to him. He's more focused on getting everything ready for the show. For Dumbo's first show, he's wheeled out in a packed center stage, dressed up like a baby, has the pacifier, has a bonnet to cover his ears. The audience instantly falls in love with him. After he's making his rounds around the circus, Dumbo sees a feather in some lady's hat. He grabs it, sneezes, rolls off the wagon. The bonnet comes off and exposes his big ears. The crowd just starts bursting out in laughter, saying it's a fake elephant and all that. Obviously, Dumbo's looking around. There's a lot of POV shots of Dumbo looking around. It's pretty cool when they did it like that. Rufus angers Jumbo and pretty much knocks him over and bursts in and saves Dumbo. Holt tries to rectify it, but all hell breaks loose and the tent gets destroyed. A beam falls on Rufus, killing him. Max locks Jumbo up for being wild and sells him back to the original owner at half price. It's really a sad moment for when Jumbo was being loaded up and you just see Dumbo just sitting there like a pretty much it's not really specified how long it's been, pretty much a newborn, so to speak, in movie time sense. Just, it was kind of a sad moment between the two, being separated, but the kids obviously tried to cheer him up, feeding him with more peanuts and giving more feathers and promising him that if he can fly and show them that they can earn enough money and Max will buy Jumbo back. So that kind of perks Dumbo's interest up. Max decides to put Dumbo into the clown show with clown paint. So you have Dumbo with clown paint everywhere. And you also see Colin Farrell's with the paint on as well, doing the whole show. They want to raise Dumbo up to put out this fire. So he raises it up, sprays the fire out. That's a fire, it's fake. It's set up with a gas line. You know, the audience loves it. They love Dumbo. Max is happy. The clowns on the ground start celebrating. One throws his hat, hits the machine that's hooked up to the gas line and sets it ablaze. So now Dumbo's up top with fire all around him. Millie climbs the ladder, gives Dumbo a feather, tells him to show everyone. She falls off to the water trough at the bottom. Dumbo gets the feather, starts flying, pretty much leaves everyone speechless. Max, obviously he's seeing this, the only thing he's probably thinking is dollar signs. Dumbo's flying around. Someone takes his picture and puts it in the newspaper. Then we meet V.A. Vanderveer, who's a owner of Dreamland. Said he created Dreamland, but I guess he's the owner. He sees the newspaper article and it perks his interest. Max starts promoting Dumbo, the flying elephant, getting a lot of people to come in, getting his picture taken and all that stuff. VA comes to the circus, which is in Missouri, with Colette. She's a featured act for him. And they want to see Dumbo. VA makes Max an offer to buy a circus, and they become partners, and he'll bring his circus to Dreamland, and Max accepts it. Now, we first see Dreamland. It looks like a huge amusement park. You got the rides. You got everything you really want. It's like huge. It's very gorgeous how they built this up. And I can't tell what city it is. I want to say it might be New York. but it's never said. But usually movies always end up in New York, but we'll just say it's New York. VA comes up with a show for Dumbo and Colette. Colette's going to be riding Dumbo while he flies around. It's never really said why this is his plan and why he just wants this on the show. Colette and Dumbo practice. Obviously, they have some issues. Typical stuff. Nothing much after this. Then we get to the first show. VA introduces Max to J. Griffin Remington, who's like this massive Wall Street tycoon. VA wants his money for Dreamland. He wants to impress him with showing him Dumbo. Then we get Michael fucking Buffer as the ringmaster. He does his stick, and I thought this was the stupidest, worthless part of the movie, is having him on there. Yes, you want a hype man for this, but you bring him. He does his line, but instead of, I'm not going to say it because he trademarked it, and I just can't believe they added that in. Dumbo and Colette gets raised up on the platform. Holt realizes there's no safety net for them. He tries to get the crew to put him out there, but they were told by VA no safety net. Colette claps her hands, and that releases some powder and makes Dumbo sneeze, and she falls. They're kind of holding onto the platform. She falls off. Holt throws her a rope. She catches it, and he catches her. Typical hero rescue. The feather's still up there. Dumbo gets the feather, grabs it, and starts flying around the circus. But before this, he hears an elephant off in the distance. Not too far, but he hears an elephant off to the distance. After he does little laps around the circus, he flies out towards the noise. He goes in some nightmare part or whatever it was called. It was like this dark thing. You got some animals with dressed up like scary. You had scary creatures. You had a crocodile and a werewolf and all that stuff. And then that's where Dumbo fights his mom. VA bought his mom and chained her up in a cage and pretty much dressed her up like some creature. He said he had no idea, but he would never have bought her if he knew Dumbo, if that was Dumbo's mom, because he didn't want to distract him. VA tells his henchman Niels, it's, generic bald guy, literally showed no expression, and his shoes were made out of elephant skin. So we knew where that was going when we found that out. Tells Niels to take her away and kill her. Then the night of the next show, Max gets a bunch of pink slips. VA tells him he has to fire all of his old performers because he has no use for them. All the old performers are circled around Dumbo's cage, just looking at him upset. VA's driver, Sotheby, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Sotheby. We'll go with that. Comes in and tells them that VA's going to have the mom killed, and he quit after he found out. Holt and the crew put a plan together to rescue her. The carnies rescue Jumbo, with the mermaid lady, merman. I don't know what she was. She was a mermaid, and the strong man, and the snake charmer, and the magician. We didn't meet a lot of the performers besides those four. So to speak. They weren't really major characters at all. Colette and Dumbo do their show. They did it right. Start flying around the circus. Holt's on the outside of the tent and cuts it open, leaving a huge opening for Dumbo to fly out. Dumbo flies out, and they fly out with Colette, and they go to the power tower, so to speak. And Colette turns on the gates, so they open, so the carnies can take Jumbo out. They drive around this big truck. Then Dumbo, for some reason, starts hitting buttons everywhere. I don't know why. VA comes in, starts freaking out. He wants the power turned back on. He starts hitting buttons like a little kid. And crew members saying, you're gonna overload the system. Obviously, this starts a fire. This starts a fire everywhere. The big tent for the main act catch on fire. Everything starts exploding. Niels chases the kids into the center stage, and Holt comes in riding on a horse, ties Niels up to the horse, and the horse drags Niels away, probably killing him because it kind of went right into the fire. So the horse died as well. Huh. I just thought of that. Um, uh, Holt tries to get the kids out of the fire, but there's fire on all the sides, so they honestly can't get out. Dumbo drops Colette off at the meeting point with the other carnies, sees his mom, then he sees the fire. So he has like a sense because he built this reputation with the kids and Holt with actually with the whole family. And he flies off to save them. He loads up on water, goes in the fire, sprays an opening, and he lets them out. He loses his feather in the process. That burns up, and so he feels like he can't fly, but Millie tells him that he could fly all along. That was always inside of him. Holt puts the kids on Dumbo. Dumbo flies off. Max becomes buddy buddy with the tycoon all of a sudden, and VA pretty much watches Dreamland burn. Uh, Everyone gets Dumbo and Jumbo on a ship, and they get taken away after a sad going away. The ending, Max has a new circus. He features all his carnies, the strongman, mermaid, magician, snake charmer. They all featured. He's still promoting a flying elephant, but it's just clowns dress up like an elephant with an elephant mask. Holt's doing a show with Colette, well, I don't know how to pronounce her name, sorry. I think they're a couple. I don't know. There's always hidden things in there, and there's like what's coming, but it's never really said. Uh, Millie has her own act, and it's like a world of science. She's showing actually like moving pictures, so she's obviously showing a movie to a crowd. Joe does his act. I don't know what he was doing. Um, then we see Dumbo and Jumbo somewhere, a forest. They come to a cliff and they see other elephants, and Dumbo flies around them. They all make noises and fling their trunks up in the air, and that's it. So Dumbo, after watching it, I don't know. There's some positives and there's a lot more negatives, but I honestly gonna give this a D plus. The visuals were beautiful. It really was everything about it. There was a scene right before Dumbo show. They did the pink elephants with um, bubbles, and it was absolutely beautiful. I don't know if it was because they kept showing the bubbles and the pink elephants, and they showed Dumbo, and he's bopping along with the music, and they're showing the bubbles and him. I don't know if that's what he was seeing or if that's what everyone was seeing because Max said it. He said pink elephants, and that's all we heard. And then we just see Dumbo and the elephants, Dumbo and the elephants. I don't know if it was in his head that he was seeing it, but he was just bopping along. But that was really, really beautifully done. It was spectacular how they did that. Dumbo looked great. He honestly looked great. Then the visionaries, the scenery, Dreamland looked great. You know, the visual effects, special effects were remarkable. They really were. I mean, it's Disney. I'm not going to take anything away from them. They know what they're doing. But the massive negative about this movie, why it's a D plus, is the human portion of the movie. It downplayed the story. It took away from the true star, which was Dumbo. Just the drama that was forced. I mean, Danny DeVito and Michael Keaton, they hammed it up. They legit hammed it up as their characters. But that was the only thing great about the human aspect. Colin Farrell just kind of didn't seem like he wanted to be there. He kind of looked like he was just like, I'm going to be in a Disney movie. I'm just going to do it. Eva Green, I still don't see the appeal to her. She was just awful here. One of the things I did notice that this did not look or feel like a Tim Burton movie. I mean, yes, you had the Tim Burton troops. You had Keaton, DeVito, Green. You had the daddy issues that I swear to God, go back and watch Tim Burton movies. There are daddy issues in every one of his movies, and they hit you over the head with them nonstop. But it really feels like that Disney locked him down. That they didn't want him to like overdo, do his own thing. Like he had to play by Disney rules. But other than that, the story, it was lazy. I mean, the main fact was Dumbo and his mom, and then they added the whole circus, and then the Dreamland stuff, and then the stuff with Niels, and then even in stuff with Rufus. It just seems like very forced, and it's just a very forgettable story and a forgettable movie. But Dumbo is insanely cute. Like how, like it's just like you watch Dumbo with his eyes and how he acted. Like they did a especially remarkable job on Dumbo. So that is it. That is your review of Dumbo. If you like this review, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you want to leave a comment, go ahead. I will read them on the next review. So if you like this. So that is review of Dumbo. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, then you can find out when. So that's my review of Dumbo. If you like this, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, then you'll always know when the next episode is posted. So thank you guys, and I'll see you later.